So welcome to the training on Digital Cookie, also known as DC24. So you may hear me call it Digital Cookie, DC24, or DC, but it's all the same. This integrated platform will allow Girl Scouts and their customers across the country to have the same user experience, whether they're in Charleston, South Carolina, or Charleston, Arkansas. We know this is a significant change and you may have lots of questions. So again, if you can make sure that your microphone is muted, we are recording this session and that will preserve the recording quality. We're going to go over several things today, and you can see a whole list of 12 different items here on the screen, but please be assured that GSUSA tip sheets are available for virtually every function for you to review. Most of them are embedded right within the section that you're working on. So if you're on My Troop Orders tab and you need help, you can click on a tip sheet within that order tab. So it really is a very easy and intuitive system. Some of you may be somewhat familiar with it when a few years ago you were with Digital Cookie before you came over to ABC. So, but they have made some significant upgrades. It is a brand new system, so they're not patching people onto an existing system. So let's first look at the data flow. The data flow. What will come from Digital Cookie to Smart Cookies and what will go from Smart Cookies into Digital Cookie. So we're going to start with Smart Cookies. The council will be uploading all girl and volunteer names and relevant information. And of course, all the service units, troops, everybody will be uploaded into Smart Cookies. That information will then flow into Digital Cookie. You are a direct sale council. So as you're transferring cookies to girls from the troop inventory or giving girls booth credit, that information will flow into their accounts in Digital Cookie. If you post payments from girls into the system in Smart Cookies, that will flow into Digital Cookie, as will the troop payments that have been made to the council via ACH. What will come out of Digital Cookie and into Smart Cookies will be all girl delivery and booth credit card transactions. And if the troop has any ship only orders from their troop ship only link, that all that payment information will come in. The actual girl delivery orders and any cookie share girl delivery orders that are prepaid or any reward choices that are made within the Digital Cookie system do not automatically flow into Smart Cookies. So it will still be the responsibility of the girl to manage her account and make sure that she tells you if she needs more cookies. And there is a really great report for rewards at the end in Digital Cookie that you can pull, but the information just doesn't flow over automatically. All volunteers must be registered and identified either as a troop cookie manager or a leader prior to receiving their Digital Cookie registration. And it's important that you register in Smart Cookies and Digital Cookie. And you also need to make sure you use the same email address that you've used in your My Girl Scout account. So when you've registered yourself as a Girl Scout, that needs to be the same email that you're going to be using in Smart Cookies. So let's talk a little bit about registration into Digital Cookie. Virtually everything in Smart Cookies remains the same. The only thing that is different is there are no longer any girl accounts in Smart Cookies. Girls will still be in Smart Cookies for you to transfer inventory to track their payments and all of that information, but they won't register in Smart Cookies. But adults, volunteers will register both in Smart Cookies and in Digital Cookie. So you'll want to watch for a registration email from email@email.girlscouts.org. And you can add that to your safe sender list. And again, you should be using the email that's in your My Girl Scout account in Digital Cookies. So you'll get your own email and you're going to want to click on the link that's included in that email. Then you'll have a couple of steps you have to go through to activate your troop account. First, you will have to view a video at least one time when you're registering into Digital Cookie. If you have multiple roles, for instance, you're a troop leader and a service unit person and a parent of a Girl Scout, you'll only have to view the video once. It will be smart enough to know that you've already viewed it. But the very first time when you log in, you will need to watch the video. It's about 3 minutes long, and after the video concludes, the continue button will turn green. Then you will get a series of terms and conditions, and you do need to check the box to accept those terms and conditions. Then you want to activate Girl Scouts. Now, we're in as a troop tonight, so you will actually, when you activate it, it's going to be activating your troop site. And then the girl account, it's called a girl account, even though it's a troop account. Your first name will be Troop 1234. Please do not change that name in order to preserve your troop URL. So all you have to do is click the activate button to activate your troop. Don't change the first name to keep your troop URL current. Then we'll look a little bit at the dashboard that you'll have in Digital Cookie. So first, let me assure you that if you do have multiple roles in Digital Cookie, for instance, a troop leader, the parent of a girl, and either the site lead, or maybe you're also a service unit person, you will be able to quickly and easily toggle between accounts by going up to the upper right-hand corner of your screen. You'll see a drop-down menu, and then you just pick the role that you want to view at any one time. So very easy to switch back. Don't have to log out and log back in. And this should be a great time saver for those of you with parents that are parents of Girl Scouts, because last year you could not toggle into your daughter's account through Smart Cookies. Then the troop dashboard has information to help you support your Girl Scout troop and your girls during their Digital Cookie sales. All appointed troop leaders and cookie volunteers that the council has loaded into Smart Cookies will have access to this dashboard when they log into Digital Cookie. It has 5 sections. So this is the top half. Troop virtual booth information. This will have your troop link that you can use for virtual booths where somebody comes and picks up cookies at a booth you already have, or you can choose to deliver to people. And then, of course, we have the troop ship only link as well. So that will be in the upper left-hand corner in the first box. Then it will have pending virtual booth orders. So if you have set up a booth, you'll be able to see right here if you have any orders that you need to approve. You'll be able to click the green links and it'll take you straight to those orders. The troop rewards deadline, that will have the date that the council has established. It can be changed if you need to have your girls turn it in a day earlier, and it will display on their order form the date that you've chosen, but the council date will display. And then the troop online sales goal, you actually set your goal in Smart Cookies and it will flow over into Digital Cookie. If you don't set it up in Smart Cookies, it will just show the progress that you've made so far. And from this page, you can also send a cheer to girls, but there's also a tab that you can use, and we'll show that in a few minutes. The bottom half of the dashboard has the ability for you to take an overview of how the girls in your troop are participating in Digital Cookies. You will see how many girls are actually in Digital Cookie, how many of those have imported, the girls that have had parent imported, girls that are registered, and girls that have sent any marketing emails. And then you'll also be able to see the online sales by delivery. You also will be able to pull reports for your troop straight from your dashboard. The all order data will show you details on every order for the troop, and it gives you tons and tons of information, more than you can ever imagine. So it's a really big report. The initial order report will not be functioning for your council because you are a direct sale council. You don't have initial orders by girl, so that report will not function. Cookie badges will let you see if any girls have been working on their family entrepreneur pins or badges. And then again, for the reward selection, girls will be able to choose their rewards in Digital Cookie, and then you can run a report on what their choices are, and you don't have to track them down at the very end of the sale to get that information. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about orders. This is one of my favorite features of Digital Cookie EC24, because in the past we could sometimes get a phone call. You might get a phone call as a troop leader. The council might get a call, and the person knows that they placed an order with a girl link, but they don't remember who the girl was. They can't find their email with their confirmation, and all you have is like a customer name. And in the past, it's been virtually impossible to find that customer in the database in Smart Cookies. Now you have this order tab, and you will be able to search for various ways. You can search by a date range, by a girl, by a customer. And what I've done here as an example is all I had was the customer information, their first and last name. And when I entered that in, I automatically found their order down here in the corner. So it's really great way to find those orders. And then you can get more information about that order by clicking the link, and it will show you all the information. Who may have placed the order, who may have approved the order, the customer's address, their email, all of that kind of information is right here. This is also where, as a troop chair, you would be able to refund the order. So if there was a customer that called and they never got their cookies, you would be able to go in and refund the order, just as you were able to refund last year in Smart Cookies. It's rare that we have to do a lot of refunds, but occasionally maybe a parent approved an order. I know in one of my councils last year, I had a parent in Pennsylvania approve an order for somebody in Wyoming, and they really weren't going to do a girl delivery order to that person in Wyoming. So we after they'd approved it, we refunded the order. So this is where you would also be able to refund an order. You will see there's a refund button right in the center of the screen of the order screen. And you'll be able to do a full refund only. So you can't refund just part of the order. If they said, well, I only got my Thin Mints, but I didn't get something else, you would have to do a full refund or make arrangements to get cookies to that person. You select full refund, and then this screen opens up. You will need to select a refund reason. It is from a drop-down menu. The responsible party will be whatever level you are in Digital Cookie. If you're a troop level, it will show troop level. And then GSUSA has asked us to remind you to please put notes in the field so that we have some information on why this order was canceled. For instance, if the customer had called and said they'd ordered cookies and they were never received, and it's, maybe the sale is ended, you could put that information in there. Or maybe a parent had called you and said, I approved this order by accident, I didn't mean to. And you could put that in. The reason they would like to have notes is that both council and GSUSA customer care people will have visibility onto these orders. So if the customer then later had a question about why was my order refunded instead of delivered, they can go in and look at these notes, and they can give that customer additional information. So if you do need to refund an order, make sure you give some reasons behind that. So I'm going to take a quick pause here and see if we have any questions that I need to answer so far.
I don't see any in the chat box, but I did message a couple of people. If you can put your thing on mute, please.
Yeah, we don't want to hit mute all, because then it mutes me. So, and it'd be really disheartening to have me flip through all these slides and you don't hear me. Okay, we'll move forward then to look at the My Troop tab. And again, Digital Cookie is very intuitive. It has tabs across the top that you click on, very much like the way you navigate in Smart Cookies. So it's not making you remember lots of different changes. So on the Troop tab, you'll see there's several different pieces of information here. Number one is the troop goal that comes over from Smart Cookies, and you'll measure the troop's progress toward your goal. This will also display on the girls information page. So it's really important for the troop to set a goal in Smart Cookies and have that come over to Digital Cookie. The next thing is you'll have a list of all your girls in your troop, and you'll be able to see what kind of activity they've had so far. So number 2 that's showing on the screen, it shows that this first girl, yes, she has set up her cookie site and she has published it. So you would be able to click on that published link and actually see her customer facing site. Number 3 is orders to approve. And so you can see if a girl had a number of orders to approve, you would be able to look at those. You cannot approve them. They still do need to be approved by the parent caregiver for the girl, but you could see if they've got a number of orders. One of the great features of DC24, which I personally love, is that every evening, if a parent still has orders that need to be approved, they will get a summary email letting them know you still have orders to approve. So in the past, for the past couple of years out of Smart Cookies, they've gotten an email for each individual order, and they've had to remember to approve it from that email. And they've had to, if they forget the emails, they don't get a reminder, and then the orders can expire. So what this will do is every night, I believe they told me it generates around 1 o'clock in the morning, the system goes and pulls out any caregiver's email that has orders to approve, and it sends them an email. So in the morning, they would see one email that says you have orders to approve. They come into Digital Cookie and they can approve them all from the site. So I think that's a real time saver to caregivers. This also applies to any troop orders that you might have. You will get a reminder email if you have troop orders, like for instance, for your virtual booth that you have not approved, it will give you a reminder. And it's the same number of days, it's 5 days that they have to approve orders. Then on number 4, you can see details of the girls about the girl's account. Now you might also see, for instance, on this example, we've got one girl that's got a delivery change. So what does that mean? You can click on the details and you can see more information about that girl's site. So what this case was, here was the troop. We're looking at this particular girl. You've got the information about her parent guardian, their email. And what's happened here is this girl has turned off lemonade. So she no longer has any lemonades to sell, and she can turn that variety off. And that way she doesn't get any girl delivery orders that she can't fulfill. So again, lots of great information that you can get right within Digital Cookie without having to run lots of reports or go through. The My Troop Orders tab. Now this is going to specifically relate to orders if your troop sets up your site and sets up a virtual link. So again, this will show you any Digital Cookie orders to pick up. This would be if you put a virtual booth, like for pickup orders connected, you're going to be at the Piggly Wiggly on Main Street on Saturday, January 24th, and you've set some pickup dates, and I'm going to show you that in a minute, that they can pick up their orders there, prepay and pick up for orders, because this would show you these are your orders that you have pending that you need to still approve. Once you approve them, then they move down to the second section, orders to pick up. And you also have the ability to offer delivery, that the troop can deliver cookies. Now, I always caution all troop volunteers to remember that once you publish a link out into the wide world internet, it can go anywhere. So you may have put that link at your, within people in your church group, but they really want to help you and they share it more widely. And suddenly you get a lot of orders from a great distance that you're not willing to travel. So you don't want to travel 50 miles to deliver a single box of cookies. So what you may want to do is think very cautiously about offering delivery, because if a customer places the order and then it gets, declined, and we don't want to deliver that far out, they may not be likely to find another girl closer to them to place the order. So do think about that, but it is an option, and I'll show you where you can set that up. You also have the ability to send cheers to girls in your troop. Very simple. You saw it on another couple of screens. There was a place to send a cheer on the dashboard. There was a place on that girl's order detail where you could send cheers, but you can also go to the cheers tab, click on that. A list of all the girls in your troop will appear. You click on the drop-down menu. It will then show you a selection of 6 different cheers that you can send to them. you'll see a little preview of what the message is, and then you just go send the cheer. You can send a cheer to girls. Girls can send a cheer to each other. And customers can send a cheer to girls. Girls just can't send a cheer to volunteers. They can send a thank you to customers, but not a cheer. So pretty neat way to, encourage people as the sale goes forward. Now we're going to get into a few more of the, setup pieces that you have to do to set up your Troop virtual booth links. And just as in Smart Cookies last year, you have two distinct links. One will be for Troop orders, and you can make them for pickup at your booth, or you can choose to deliver. And then you'll have a Troop ship only link. And the Troop ship only link will be the link that will go to the National Cookie Finder and be published by GSUSA starting National Girl Scout Cookie Weekend. It's not quite as automatic as it was in Smart Cookies. So you do have a little bit of, setup to do. Again, it's not something that you have to set up immediately. You do not have to have your site set up for girls to start taking orders. So, but it may be something that you want to set up as you get closer to the time when you're going to have cookies in hand, so you can, be ready to hit the ground running when the sale starts in full. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to set up your Troop site. You're going to click Start. Pretty straightforward. This is the new setting up the site. You click the Start button. Then the second thing will be to add your Troop zip code. Now, in the past, from Smart Cookies, it automatically chose the leader or the primary contact's zip code. But that could be maybe not where all your girls live. So maybe you would rather use a zip code, you live one town over, but you stayed with your Girl Scout troop in another town. And so more of the Girl Scouts or all the Girl Scouts are in a different zip code. You choose the troop zip code to put that in there. It is a required field. Then after you enter the zip code, then you're going to assign someone to be your troop site lead. A volunteer that has been loaded into Smart Cookies for your troop and has their global ID and has been moved over to Digital Cookie, their names will be available in this field. Most troop leaders or troop cookie managers are going to choose themselves to also be the site lead. But if you want to split that job up, you have the ability to choose a site lead. So once you select a name, you would just move forward to the next step. And you're going to set up your site. And to do that, then they're going to ask you to pick the role that you want to view, and you want to view the site lead role, because we're going to set up the site so the site lead takes the responsibility for setting up the site and moving it forward. So this is the Troop virtual booth link. This will automatically display. And you can either copy that link and embed it in emails. You can view the QR code, and then you can copy that and paste that into, onto flyers, onto door hangers, however you want to use that Troop link. Then you can also click to view your Troop ship only link. And again, once you click on that, now you're going to see both of your links. And again, same thing, you can copy that link. You can view the QR code to use that on a flyer or to send in an email. So lots of ways to get to those links in Digital Cookie, and very straightforward once you've got them set up. Once your site is set up and published, there is nothing additional that you need to do to make sure that your Troop ship only link appears to customers in the Cookie Finder. And all ship only purchases from your Troop virtual link will go back into Smart Cookies just as they have before, but any other orders you will need to follow through on. So I'm going to stop right there before I go into virtual booths and to see if there's any additional questions right now. I know it's a lot of information.
Yes, there was a question about, so is there no more a mimic option in Smart Cookie?
Only for service unit level people can mimic the troops in their area, but troops will no longer have the ability to mimic anybody, because girls do not have accounts in Smart Cookies. But that's a good question. there is more visibility on what the girls are doing in Digital Cookie. I think it's easier. I've been in there all summer looking at it. You can, like, there's that orders information screen. You can, get all the orders for a girl. So if you have questions, and the troop site mirrors a girl site. So if a girl is having problems finding where do I go to, do this, your site is set up exactly the way there is. So you should be able to navigate through pretty quickly. Any other questions?
Yeah, there's another question that was messaged me privately, is that will leaders get a different access for DC24 than ABC Smart Cookie?
There, you will have two accounts. So you will get a registration email from Smart Cookies and you will get a registration email from Digital Cookies. So you will have two separate accounts. Yes. You can use the same email address and you can use the same password in both systems, but you have to move between the two systems. You cannot be in Smart Cookies and then automatically go into your Digital Cookie link.
And do you know when that will be given to the leaders?
That would be an Aggie question. I don't have that date in hand. I know the plan is to get the Smart Cookie set up very quickly. I am not sure what day she has set up in Digital Cookie for those emails to go out. But we can find out and make sure that we get that back out to folks. I'll write that down. Okay, is that all the questions for right now?
What about when you started a new troop?
What about? I'm not sure what the
That's
question.
all that was asked. I said, what about when you're started a new troop?
So if they're starting a new troop during the sale, could they clarify?
No, they didn't. They just said, what about?
Well, if any new troops are going to be loaded into Smart Cookies, just like an existing troop and they'll get access as well. If they're thinking that a troop may start later in the sale, the data from Smart Cookies and Digital Cookie will be flowing back and forth the entire season. So if a new troop is added into Smart Cookies, let's say in February, they will then get the registration email. They will automatically get the registration email from Smart Cookies, automatically get the registration email from Digital Cookie, and then can move forward to set everything up. So they're not blocked from anything just because they start a little later.
Okay. And actually to answer, I had already answered this question, is that the access to ABC Cookie has already been given, but the digital link for the Digital Cookie will be on Monday by noon.
Okay,
the DC24 should go out by Monday.
Okay, great.
Sorry, leaders will have access by Monday noon. Service units have access.
Okay, and that's the Smart Cookies Monday at noon?
Correct. No, okay. Smart Cookies, service units have access, but they will get, leaders will have access by noon on Monday.
Okay.
So that one that was asking about, the one that was asking about the new troop, she says that she was a cookie manager from another troop and now she's a co-leader. So with that one, once everything is set up, if you're set up in the system as a troop, everything like that, then you'll be getting access through Deborah and Aggie as everything has cleared, once you have finished everything that you needed for your training and so forth.
Okay.
And then another one said, will cookie managers be able to make any kind of adjustments on girl accounts?
No. And the main reason for that is that there is a very clear hierarchy that has to be established between Digital Cookie and Smart Cookies, and it all goes with a global ID. And if something is modified and then it does not match, so if girl is Susie Smith with, global ID 12345, and the parent email is, johndoe@gmail.com, if one of those three things gets changed, then it will not go back, and digital cookie actually goes back to her My Girl Scout record and looks, and if they don't match, it will not then do that. So the troops will not be able to manage the girls in any way this year, except for adding sizes. They could add a size to their girl record in Smart Cookies, but they can't add girls, because if we don't get the right global IDs exactly right, they could they would be denied access to digital cookie.
Okay, and then Aggie had said GSUSA will give our leaders access to DC 24 on December 5th.
Okay, great.
And then only service unit cookie managers have access right now.
To Smart Cookies.
Correct.
Okay.
I'm trying to look if there's any other questions. I think that's it for right now.
Okay, great. Okay, so let's look a little bit at the virtual booths tab. So for your troop, if you have an existing booth in Smart Cookies, and again, remember that Smart Cookies is still where the troop is going to be doing probably 95% of their work. This is where you're going to enter your initial order. This is where you're going to select your delivery station. This is where you're going to transfer cookies to girls to start the sale and keep that throughout the sale. This is where you're going to schedule booth sales. This is where all the payment information is going to live. There'll be some duplication in digital cookie, but it's all going to flow back in. So this is really your inventory management system. So if you have a booth that exists in Smart Cookies, you will be able to add a pickup to that existing booth. So you would just click on the booth tab, and all of your available booths will show, and you can sort by name if you want, and you can tell them how many items you want to see at any given time. It's hard to see in this particular screen, but right up here in the corner, it says virtual booth help. So this is one of those tip sheets that's embedded right where you're working right at that time. You would click on that and it would give you some help about the virtual booth. So there's I think about 100 different tip sheets available for between caregivers, troops, service unit, everybody to have that access. It is it's phenomenal, the amount of support that they've given, very clearly written, and again, embedded a lot of times right where you are. So to add that pickup to a booth, if you just want to have some pre-done orders so that customers walk up to your sale and pick up those orders, you just click on the add pickup option, and it's just right down here in the corner. And when you do that, you need to add some details. So you need to add the dates and times that you're going to be taking orders. So consider ending your order taking period 12 to 24 hours before the actual booth sale happens. That way you have time to approve, because you will need to approve and review all of the orders. If you have concerns about your inventory, you might even want to do it 36 hours before the booth starts, so that you have plenty of time to get all the inventory you need to fill the orders, and visit a cupboard or whatever you need to do. If at any time you need to delete the booth pickup location, you can go back, view your list of booth pickup locations, and you can delete that booth pickup, or you can edit it. So you can either edit it, maybe you were going to edit the pickup date because you're going to be at that same store the next day, or you can delete the booth pickup. One thing that's very important, though, is if you have cancel a booth in Smart Cookies, so you have the Piggly Wiggly on Main Street for the first Saturday of the sale, and you get the flu and you're not going to be there, you need to make sure you go over and delete. If you've added a pickup, you need to delete it from digital cookie as well, because that part won't talk back and forth to each other. So it's very important, if you do cancel a booth in Smart Cookies and you've added a pickup, you do need to come over here to delete it, and then either refund any orders that you may have approved. If you didn't add a pickup and you cancel a booth in Smart Cookies, not a problem. You don't have to come back over to Digital Cookie to take out that booth if you've just canceled it, because again, the information will flow back and forth. Within probably 20 minutes or so, that booth will disappear from your list, and you hadn't added a pickup to it. So just remember that. So now let's talk about My Cookies, right? Because everybody loves Girl Scout cookies, and we all know
Hold on, there was
yes.
a question since we were talking about booths.
Sure.
What about booth credit card sales?
Okay, booth credit card payments, I'm going to cover those. You will have the ability to take booth credit card payments, and I'll show you the mobile app that you can use, and those will flow back into Smart Cookies. Okay, so I've got that in another slide, about 4 more slides down.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the My Cookies tab, because this is what everybody loves and what they're really excited about. When you click on My Cookies, and again, remember, we're looking at the troop view, but the girl will see almost we'll see the exact same type of screen when they're on the My Cookies. This will give you your inventory. Offline sales will be any that you want to report that you did, maybe your troop did a walkabout and you want to, keep track of that inventory. It will show you your current inventory, if you have any pending delivery, how much is ready to approve, and any inventory needed to fill some of that. Your finances will show. So you would see, how many initial cookies you got on your order card from your initial order, how many extra cookies your troop has received, has transfers, and then payments that the troop has made. It'll just sum up all the payments, both credit card payments and any, for instance, ACH payments that have done. And so that will be on the My Cookies at the top half. At the second part, this is where your troop can choose to allow, and I know it says allow Girl Scout delivery on my Girls Cookie site, but this is your troop site. So in other words, if you want to activate Girl Scout delivery by your troop to orders placed with your link, this is where you can click it to be active or inactive. So you could remove the delivery portion from your troop, but you would still be able to have, the booth order pickup. It just means that when a person gets there, they click your link, delivery wouldn't be an option. So just keep that in mind. Again, it's you can turn it off and on during the sale if you want to start with delivery, and then if it gets, maybe you're getting things from a little too far range, you want to inactivate it, you can change that at any time during the setting. This is where you have the ability to turn off and on varieties of cookies. And probably the biggest request we've gotten for the past several years is the gluten-free. How can I turn off the gluten-free? Because my troop doesn't have any more to sell, and we keep getting orders for it. So this is where you can come in, just very easily click the radio button next to the variety and turn it off or on. And it will, then you need to update your delivery settings and save it. And that cookie would no longer be available on the variety. One thing I do want to caution you to know is that just because the troop turns off a variety to be for sale does not flow down to the individual girl varieties. So that's a very important distinction. And a lot of people have said as I've been doing these trainings, why not? If the troop is out of it, then the girls should be out of it as well. In most cases, probably yes, that's true, especially in the realm of the gluten-free cookie, which is a limited variety cookie. But you could still have a girl that does have some cookies. So let's use Toastjay as an example. You're out of Toastjay. You don't think you're going to go back to the cupboard and get any more Toastjays toward the end of the sale. So you want to turn it off at your troop level, but you still have girls because you transferred some cookies to them. They still have Toastjay to sell. So if it automatically went down to the girls as well, then it turns off their ability to sell those cookies. So if you run out of gluten-free and you can't get any more, you can let your troops know, your parents and caregivers and your girls know that I can't get any more gluten-free. Once you're out, you should turn off that variety on your orders as well. So again, we're trying to teach our girls, good business practices, and we don't want to, hurt their sales. So we don't want that variety to go off if they might still have some inventory to sell. So again, very easy. And you could even turn it off for a short time. Maybe you want to turn off ToastJ for, this 1 week because you've already been to the cupboard, but you're going to go to the cupboard the next week and get some, and then you can turn it back on. So again, you have the ability to make these changes during the sale as best meets your troops' desires. Troops also have the ability, just as the girls do, to have a My Customers tab. They can add customers in. And of course, I know most of that work is going to be done by the girls, but if the troop works together and wants to send some marketing emails to, somebody, maybe to the school principal, that lets them meet there rather than each individual girl send a marketing email, maybe it wants to come from the troop. So that could be a way that you can do that. Very easy. You can add a customer just by clicking the link here to add a customer and get their information. And then all you do is select the customer that you want to send a marketing email to, and then you click send marketing email. And when you do that, you'll get to this next screen. It just gives you a little bit of information about the emails. So emails you can send to customers are listed above the cookie timeline. So there's 3 distinct emails. There's open for business, there's still time to order cookies, and then thank you for your purchase. And when you're in the live site, you can actually click these links. You could click this little blue button and it will pop out the letter for you so you can actually read it if you want to read the whole email that will be sent. It will be personalized, obviously, to your customer and from your troop, but you can at least get the idea and the template. The emails that are below the line are ones that will be sent automatically from the system. So once an order is placed by a customer, they get, an order placed email. If it's a ship only order, they do get a ship only email that when it's shipped. And again, another great feature of Digital Cookie is that if there should be any delay on a shipped order, they get an update on that email. So I, again, was testing this all summer, and I'd place a ship only order, and obviously cookies weren't being shipped during the summer. And I would get, I think it was about every 10 days, I would get another update saying, we haven't forgotten you. Well, it doesn't exactly say that, but it was like, your order's still in process. We haven't shipped it. There's been a slight delay. And it just would give me an update periodically. Somebody eventually must have deleted that order because I stopped getting the emails, but it is a great way to help customers understand that their cookies are on their way. And then once the in-person delivery is completed, they'll get a confirmation on that as well. So again, once you select one, here's what they look like. This is why I said it might, when the first few times you look at it and you want to read this, it's easier to pop it out from like that blue button and look at it. These are the letters. You just select what kind you want. Oh, let me go back. You select what kind you want, the open for business or still time to order. You just put a check mark in there, and then the send email will go. Emails can take about 15 minutes to send. And so it won't be, don't send it and then call grandma a minute later, or call the troop, the school principal 5 minutes later and say, did you get that email yet? It can take a few minutes to go, but they will get that email, and you just click send and you're ready to go. So now let me talk a little bit about the Digital Cookie app, because we do have the Digital Cookie app from GSUSA. It is available in the App Store now, and it's available for both Android and iPhone. So it's in, I guess it's the Google Play when it's Android, and it's the App Store for iPhones. It's called Digital Cookie. So it's pretty straightforward, but it will not activate until it will not activate for either the troop or the girl until they have set up their site. So I have it on my phone right now, but I don't have a site, so I can't go in and use it. So if you want to use it, do need to make sure once you have access to Digital Cookie that you set up your site, and then you'll have access and you can use the Digital Cookie app. Great features on this. If you are at a booth sale, either a girl or the volunteer, if it's a girl, she picks that she wants to take an order for her troop. So she would click the troop. If she's selling at her own inventory, like at her own lemonade stand, or if she is walking door to door, she taps on her name, and that will take the cookies out of her inventory and will give her payment credit. Again, if she's at a booth, she clicks troop, and then that will take the order, and it will give that financial credit just to the troop. So you pick which persona. Then it's going to give you a little greeting first. It's going to greet the girl by name and let her know how she's progressing toward her goal. So she just would then start a new cookie order. Then she would enter all the information, and then would click give customer, give cookies to customer now. Again, either at a booth site, or her personal inventory. All of these steps work the same. It's governed by the selection that they made at the beginning. And then they move forward to the payment screen. And this is where you give the cookies to the person in hand, and you will have the ability to take all of the information. Great feature this year, there is a scan the credit card feature instead of having to type in all of the details. So it does not store the person's credit card information. All it does is scan it and enter it into the required fields. And again, it works on both Android and Apple products. You don't have to try and do any manipulation to make that happen. It's an automatic. You do need to put in a customer email. And we got a lot of questions on this recently on one of training. So I reached out to GSUSA, and the email, they do make it they do have it as a required field. The reason is to give the customer a receipt. And it's only used for that. It's not stored in any way to, spam them. They're not going to then get 25 emails in the next 10 days asking them to buy Girl Scout cookies. It is strictly to send them a receipt. If they do not want to get a receipt, GSUSA did say you could put in a fake email, and then the system would not send that out. Would just put in something that's formatted like an email. I would encourage customers as much as possible to consider giving you their email address for a receipt, because there's been several times in the past several years, we've gotten somebody who said, I don't remember buying, I see this charge on my credit card from such and such, and I don't think this is valid. And we've been able to go back and find it at the booth that, that they purchased. Oh, that's right. That's right. I bought some cookies, at that booth. And then, but because we were able to find them with their email address, we were able to, confirm that. So while it's not, you can use a fake one, I would encourage as many customers as possible to consider getting the receipt. And then again, there's some other features in the digital app that girls and troops will be able to look at. You can look at if you have any orders to deliver, to approve, you're able to look at that. You're able to look at any of your shipped orders just to get information on those. And you can, move forward by clicking the little arrows, and you can get some details about any particular orders. So open up for any additional questions that are happening here tonight.
Yes, so there was one that says, will it differentiate between booths and who took the order when they go to zero out a booth?
I don't know that. That's a good question. So a booth payment. But so can they clarify why they need to know who took it? Because it only goes into the troop account. It doesn't go to the girl account.
If anyone would like to unmute themselves and ask, it's mainly for if they do multiple booths at once.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I believe that you can do, I know that there's the booth credit card. There's the booth credit card payment. There's still a report, but I don't know. Okay,
Danielle.
I'll have to find that question. So if there have multiple, if the troop has multiple booths at once, how can payments be applied via app? Okay, and again, since I can't use the app, I haven't seen the app before. It may be that they have the ability to choose the booth as well, and they may just not have had a screenshot. But I will definitely find that out, and I will make sure that Aggie has that information, and we will if I can get a slide, I'll put it into the one that we're going to do for the parents and caregivers, but also make sure that you have the answer to that question. So I've written it down, and I'll find out an answer and get back as quickly as I can.
Danielle, also, whenever our girls are turning it, we have booth inventory sheets. So they keep a sheet when they're at a booth. And when they're turning in the money from that booth, we always go back and see which credit card sales they did at that booth, because that's the money they're turning in with their cookies at the end of the booth.
Right.
So that would be useful too.
Yeah. So again, I will find out if the second, there could be just a step missing because we only got a few slides for the mobile app. It could be that once they hit troop, they may actually then pick a booth. And so if you've got multiple booths, but I don't know, but I haven't seen that, but I definitely will find out.
And someone had asked and I answered it, but I said, what if a card is mostly rubbed off? Will it scan? And if not, then can it be entered manually? And I said that yes, it can be entered manually.
Oh, absolutely. It can be manually entered. Yes, yes. My colder climates really love the scan feature because they're always wearing gloves.
Are there any other questions? If you'd like to unmute yourself, you can and ask a question.
I don't know. I put this in chat, but I don't know if it got seen. I used my troop email for the cookie manager form. Do I need to get them to change that to the email that's in GS USA?
Yeah, because it will be a mismatch. So they'll have your global ID in My Girl Scouts in your name and a different email. And then what'll happen is it won't go through it. They'll get a failure of the matching. So yeah, it's really important to have the same girl ID email as in your Girl Scout account.
Okay, so I've already set up my service unit account. Do I need to try to get that changed? Or
well, you've got it in, you've got service units set up in Smart Cookies, right?
yes.
Okay. If you can send the council, I would just send the council an email. They can go in and correct it because it hasn't gone. It'll correct if they correct it before the troop gets uploaded, right? In your service unit account, then when your troop account gets uploaded with the correct email address, it'll all be good. So I would just send it to the council and say, I need to have this change in my service unit record. They can just go into the service unit account and update it for you. And then they can change it from your record, whatever you turned in for the troop, to your regular email address. And that's probably the same email address that you've had for your daughter. So again, if you want to be able to toggle back and forth, it all needs to match across.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions?
Hi, I have a question. I currently just recently started a new troop. Like the first one kind of in my area in like a really, really long time. So everything is very, very new to me. So I've just really, really like started getting into like my lessons and like figuring out what everything that we're doing. So I think my question is, if I have everything completed before I think I kind of already asked this, but I just want to like make sure I'm good. If I complete everything before the initial order date, am I good to go or no?
You should be, if you get all your, and although, you know, for the purpose of your initial order, you would not necessarily have to have digital cookies set up yet as your troop site, right? Because you're ordering an aggregate order for your entire troop. So you would have a little bit of time to then go back in and set up your digital cookie account. You don't have to have your digital cookie account set up before you put your initial order in Smart Cookies. So you might want to focus on that first and then give yourself a little bit more time. You also don't have to have the troop site set up before the girls start taking orders as well. So I know that girls are supposed to get access, you know, fairly early to start taking some pre-orders, but they don't have to wait for you to get that set. But yeah, if you did everything by your initial order date, you should be good to go for the coming season.
So I know that this was already addressed earlier, but if you can reiterate on it, is that can cookie managers refund or cancel orders like they could in Smart Cookie? Because I guess that happened several times.
Yes. So yes, troop cookie chairs, troop leaders, troop cookie chairs and/or troop leaders that are entered into digital cookie will have the ability to refund. Parents cannot refund. Only troop leaders and service units cannot refund for a troop because they do not have the access to that troop's orders screen to refund. So only troop and council can do it for any troop, but a troop has the ability to refund, and then they have the ability to approve their own orders. A troop cannot approve any orders for a girl. Only the parent can approve, but they can approve any of the orders or decline any of the orders that come in from their troop links.
Thank you. Last call, any questions? Otherwise, we'll go ahead and wrap this up.
I guess I need to hit stop record, right?
Sure. Well, hold on. Another question was, and if the order isn't approved by a parent or troop, then it automatically gets refunded?
If it isn't approved, all that's done is when the person puts the order in, they get a pre-authorization for their credit card. If the order is never approved by the parent or the troop, the order is just canceled and their credit card is never charged. So it doesn't have to be a refund because the final charge did not go through. Just like in Smart Cookies, it was just a pre-authorization. Once it's approved, then the credit card is charged. If it's never approved, the order gets canceled and the person's credit card is never charged.